They're storming the food to get us out. Which way? Heading toward Louisiana.
Your team was with a threat.
All right, good morning, everyone. We have started the recording, and this is our first live public meeting since March for the Awards Committee. Crazy to me. I am Jenny McCullum, the Chief Procurement Officer for JEA and the chair of the chair of the Awards Committee meeting. I'd like to call the November 5th, 2020 meeting to order. We have a quorum with our members. We've got Steve Tooten, Wayne Young, Stephen Datz, and Alan McElroy in person. Lynn, can you confirm that we've got Lasikia Hodges, Lori Whitmer, and Joe Arfano on the Webex? I see Lori. Let's confirm.
Lasikia Hodges is here. Good morning.
Morning, Lasikia.
Joe's on.
Awesome. We miss you, Joe.
I don't miss being there. No disrespect.
Didn't think so. All right, so we don't have to read, this is our first in public meeting. We don't have to read the executive order spiel that we typically do. So we'll go straight to public comments. And I'm going to start with the in-person people first. Are there any public comments that need to be addressed? Right. Seeing none, do we have any in the chat? Lynn? Okay, so there are no public comments in the chat box. And do we have any public comments on the phone who have called in? Okay. Do we have any public comments that were emailed an hour prior before this meeting? Any emails, Lynn, that you saw come in before 9? Okay. All right. So there are no public comments, so we will get started. What you guys see on the screen, we are looking at as well. This technology is pretty fancy. I want to thank IT for getting us all set up. So you guys will see this is going to be run typically how we would have a public meeting, but we are also allowing others to join via Webex so that they can see this information. It was posted on the website as well, and also just an availability for them to be able to call in and hear the meeting. The Webex functions are as typical. Won't spend a whole lot of time going through those, but you've got a row on the bottom, and you can mute and unmute yourself. You can share your video. You can chat in the chat box, and you can also look at all the participants if you click the person button. So here are some of the quick reminders. If there's anybody who can't hear us during the meeting, please let Lynrix know either in a chat or text her, or email her so that we can know if you guys are having difficulties hearing us. Can everyone hear me, Lasikia? Are you able to hear us okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. And we can hear you guys really well also. All right, so we have on today's agenda, we've got items 1 and 3 through 8. We deferred items 2 and 9. And this was a last minute deferral on 9 this morning.
Do you want to speak to the page 2 corrections? If there's anything there before we move on on this page?
I'll get to, you mean the meeting minutes?
Just what's being showed right there.
Yes, I'll get to that in just a second.
Okay.
All right, so we've got, they've all been reviewed by procurement and by budget, and so they're ready for the awards committee review. And we will review all of them individually, so we'll look at the meeting minutes and all the different award items individually. And I will still do a roll call through the committee since we have some in person and some online. And we'll do those individually per item like we typically do. So let's start with item number 1. And I can hear some typing, I'm not sure.
Julie Davis, can you mute, please? Thank you.
I apologize, sorry.
It's okay.
Thank you. So the first item number 1 are our meeting minutes from the October 29th meeting. Do you guys have any questions or comments on that?
I'd make a motion, C2, and I make a motion to approve the October 29th meeting.
Wayne on second.
Okay, great. And I'll get back to it after what you're talking. Okay, perfect. So we've got a motion and a second. I'll roll call through the committee to approve the meeting minutes from October 29th, starting with Steve Tootin,
Approved.
Wayne Young,
Approved.
Stephen Beck,
Approved.
Alan McElroy,
Approved.
and Joe Arpano.
Approved.
Okay, thanks. And Stephen was pointing out that there are some updates that we'll make to the overview and the agenda with the deferral, and we will post that when we make the corrections and send it out for approval. So we will defer number 9 and do you see any other corrections?
Yeah, item, deferred is spelled incorrectly, but item 3 needs to be revised because it's changed from 6 months to 12 months. And consequently, the dollar figures shown are incorrect as well.
Okay. They are correct on
In the
the award.
actual award, yeah.
Okay, so we will update the agenda accordingly to match the changes that were made last night and this morning for those 2 awards that we deferred. And then correct award number 3. All right, so let's start with award number 3. We've got a contract amendment, and we also have a renewal. So we're doing an increase for the remainder of the term that is current, and then we are going to execute a 1-year renewal option. So this is for continued services for our telephony. So that's AT&T's leased lines for local service and long distance, DSL, internet, and DDoS that JEA's customers and employees use to communicate. The awardee is AT&T, and the award amount for the year and the amendment. Okay, sorry, Lan, we'll make this correction because I was wrong when I talked to you earlier. But the award amount is $986,209.63. Our new end date will be November 30th, 2021. Just some background here. We've got originally approved by the awards committee in November of 2016, about $2 million. We had a change order request for about $484,000. And that was formally approved by the awards committee in February of 19. That was for services upgraded and previously unbudgeted for FCC taxes and fees. On June of 19, we did through procurement allowable a 10% administrative increase in the amount of about $250,000 to cover the increase in forecasted items through the end of the term, which was November of 2019. So that was our original 3-year term. And December of 19, we executed our first 1-year renewal and brought us through to the current term and where we're at right now. And that is set to expire November 30th of 2020. So part of this increase is to cover about $115,000 of additional funds. And the majority of the shortage was due to local phone services and internet services expense through the end of our term. We are also doing the 1-year renewal, so that'll get us from the beginning of December 2020 to the end of November of 2021. And that amount is $871,406.74. So that's where our award total comes with the adding of those two together. So we looked at the two competitively bid contracts with GSA and CalNet, and our pricing is slightly more favorable here. So in our terms of, and from a terms and conditions, and then our rates are going to stay the same with this renewal. I'll pause and see if you guys have questions.
Jenny, this is Kimberly Trailer for the Network and Telecom team. I just wanted to make sure that the awards committee knew that we currently have an RFI that is out on the street. We're looking at alternatives to lower costs for JEA by separating some of the components that are currently covered under this contract. So we will come back if there are any additional changes where we may be able to move services to a lower rate.
Great. And I think, so that was the update. We had 6 months thinking we could, the RFI is complete
Right.
through the information. And so we gave ourselves originally 6 months. We were thinking for this award, but after further discussion, we upgraded that to a year since we had a full year, because there's going to be some implementation timeframes, and we got to get through the bid, and we don't want to be rushed in a 6 month period. So last minute, we updated this to a 1 year instead of a 6 month partial renewal. We went ahead and executed the full 1 year renewal that was available to us.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
Move to approve.
Can you hear Alan?
We cannot.
Yeah, through the chair, Alan should speak up some because everybody that's on the WebEx needs to be able to clearly hear all board members physically in attendance.
Okay, this is the first time I've ever been asked to speak louder. I make a motion that we approve.
Stephen Dat, second.
Great. Roll call through the committee to approve award number 3, starting with Alan McRoy.
Approved.
Stephen Dack.
Approved.
Steve Tootin.
Approved.
Wayne Young.
Approved.
And Joe Arpano.
Approved.
Great. All right, award number 4. This is a real estate purchase or acquisition. So we're acquiring additional rights in an existing 60-foot wide City of Jacksonville drainage easement to complete a parallel line to transport biosolids for treatment to Buckman for redundancy purposes. We've got 2 awardees. One is Jacksonville University, and the amount is $95,000. And the second is OLT, the Second Inc., and that's $150,000. So the entire award approval is for $245,000. And just as a note to remind the committee, this is through the JEA Procurement Code. This is an exemption that we can use through real estate for them to negotiate directly with who they need to. But anything between $50,000 and $500,000 comes before the committee. So that's why you guys are seeing this at a lower dollar than what you would typically see. So just some background, Arlington East Wastewater Treatment Facility does not conduct on-site biosolids treatment. And so they are going to, we're at capacity at the line that goes to Buckman. So they are, for redundancy purposes, it's been decided that a parallel line must be constructed from Arlington East to Buckman. And to do that, it will include upland segments both east and west of the St. Johns River, and will also include subaqueous crossing of the river itself. In order to access the river, the acquisitions of the easement rights is necessary to obtain a corridor in which to install the line from University Boulevard to the river's east bank. And then ideal location for this sewer main on the river's east bank requires acquisition of additional rights with the existing City of Jacksonville drainage easement that we mentioned. And so Jacksonville University, a Florida not-for-profit corporation, we looked at it through a third party, and their property the appraisal value of the easement rights at JEA property was about $71,000. And we have agreed and negotiated through the real estate team $95,000 for the purchase and the acquisition of that. And then the OLT Second Inc. property appraised at about $130,000, and we've negotiated $150,000 for that. They have been deemed reasonable through the group and through third party and through OGC and our real estate group. They've reviewed all that and deemed it reasonable. So I will ask if there are any questions.
Stephen Dance, motion to approve.
Steve Tootin, second.
Thank you. I'll roll call through the committee to approve award number 4, Stephen Datz,
Approved.
Steve Tootin,
Approved.
Wayne Young,
Approved.
Alan McElroy,
Approved.
and Joe Arfano.
Approved.
Thank you. Award number 5 is a renewal. This is for our vegetation management services for JEA. We have 2 contracts in place. This one is a secondary contract, and it is for the work for the labor, equipment, and materials necessary for line clearance of all designated JEA electric, water, and wastewater facilities. The Davy Tree Expert Company is our awardee in the amount of $1,600,000. We originally competitively bid the secondary contract back in January of 2019. And the awardee was Davy Trees, and it was about $1.3 million. We set it up as a 1 year so we could test out their services, train them on our service territory, and they have performed well. So we would like to issue we issued the first renewal, and now we're issuing here the second renewal. So this will take us through January of 2022. The solicited terms and rates will stay the same. We've got how we price this work is just through time and material. So they give us a rate and the amount of hours it takes them to do this. We've really seen success in having a backup contract. So we intend to solicit a new T&M arrangement at the end of the renewal term to maintain the secondary supplier, which will cover the transition of a primary contract, if we should ever need it as well, or any backups. Did I cover everything, Lisa and Rodney?
I think you did a very nice job. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Can you tell they worked for me? That was very nice. Thanks. All right. So do you guys have any questions or comments?
Wayne.
Okay, please.
Wayne Young, I do have a question, just a clarification. When I see the term fixed rates and what this one change order is for 1.6, but the original amount was 1.3 roughly. I'm just confused when we say we have fixed rates. I would think that would carry over to the renewals. Why is it?
So the rates stay the same, but we're estimating based off of the last 2 years, increased amount in work that we give them. So your hourly rates will stay the same, but the number of hours we give them is increasing. The amount of work we're giving them increases.
Based on new territory and working on it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Or increased amount of work with storms or anything that we've had, and any work that they've done for us, we look at. Well, I guess I'll correct myself. The storm stuff is separate from these contracts. So
Yeah, so this is Rodney Lovegren. Initially, when we started off with 3 crews, I believe, and now we're up to 5. So the number of total hours being worked will increase just from the number of additional crews that are running during this last renewal, which is the reason for the increased amount. But the rates are fixed, and so the rates stay the same.
Okay, thank you.
And it's been a struggle for us to find another vendor that can handle our territory. It's so large when we bid this out. And so this was a great way to give a small subset of work to another one to train them and get them comfortable with what they have to do, so that we have a backup in case our primary contract if there was something that were to happen or we had to cancel that, we have somebody that knows our territory that's doing part of the work now. That makes sense?
Yes, so the focus for me was just the delta in the cost, and it seems that it's not based on the fixed rates, but it is based on the increased volume of the work that's being done.
Correct. So the time and materials, so you'll see that time and the materials, and it's per the hours that we give them, amount of people that are working for us.
This is C2. I was reading the scope of work, the last sentence, the minimum quantities guarantee. I presume that says is interpreting that as there's no floor for what they absolutely have to do to, by the same token, is there no ceiling? In other words, are they going to ask for more money if they're like extraordinarily busy?
So we would either, this is the ceiling, the 1.6 for this year is the ceiling, and if they need more, they have to ask us. We can do up to 10% through my group, or if it's more than that, we'll come back to the awards committee.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, I'll ask for a motion to approve award number 5.
I'm not going to approve.
Wayne Young, second.
All right, have a motion from Alan McRoy and a second from Wayne Young. I'll roll call through the committee, starting with Alan.
Approved.
Wayne Young,
Approved.
Steve Tootin,
Approved.
Stephen Dack,
Approved.
and Joe Arfano.
Approved.
Thank you. All right, so the next 2 awards go together. They are joint projects for Page's Dairy Road. Award number 6 is for the construction, and I'll give you a little bit more detail on this one, and then the next one is for the engineering, so it's the same project. But the construction of this project is for about 2,200 linear feet of 16-inch ductile iron water main. We have about 12 inches of water main termination that needs to happen. We're constructing approximately 13,500 linear feet of 16-inch ductile water main along Page's Dairy Road, and also a tie-in with the new water main to the existing 16-inch water main along Chester Road. So this is for our transmission water main for that whole area. It's in Nassau County, and this was competitively bid through them, and we have an agreement with them, which I'll get into and is attached. But the awardee is for Petty Coach Schmidt Civil Contractors, Inc. in the amount of $2,421,911. And the project completion is expected to be December of 2021. JEA utility construction work was bid by Nassau County, and we put together an agreement with them, and we've attached the JEA Nassau County agreement. By doing so, the roadway restoration costs were minimized. So if you look at the estimate, we were looking at about 4.5 million, and we will be paying about 2.4 million for this instead. And that's largely due to not having to pay for restoration services for the majority of the pipeline path. This is a joint project with Nassau County. Do you guys have any questions or comments? ask for a motion to approve award number 6.
Joe Orfano, so moved.
Thanks, Joe.
Had to get in the act.
All right, we have a motion and a second. We will do a roll call through the entire committee to approve award number 6, starting with Joe Arfano.
Approved.
Steve Tootin,
Approved.
Wayne Young,
Approved.
Stephen Dat,
Approved.
and Alan Mack.
Approved.
All right, award number 7, again, is same project, so I won't read through all the same details of the scope. But this is for the engineering, this is for the construction, engineering, and inspection services. So when the construction company, Petticoat Schmidt, is out there, England, Timms and Miller does the inspection services for their work. And again, England, Timms and Miller is the awardee in the amount of $507,050.28. Same project completion is December of 2021. Use the same agreement, and the negotiated hourly rates are consistent with our other projects for this type of work and deemed reasonable. I'll ask you guys if you have any questions or comments on award number 7. All right, I'll ask for a motion to approve award number 7.
Wayne Young, motion to approve.
Thanks, Wayne and Alan. We had a motion and a second. Roll call through the entire committee to approve award number 7. Wayne Young,
Approved.
Alan McElroy,
Approved.
Stephen Datz,
Approved.
Steve Tootin,
Approved.
and Joe Arfano.
Approved.
Thank you. All right, our last award. This is a developer agreement. So another project and this one is for the Apex Trail extension. And this is working with E-Town Development. We've got, I'm going to read this, bear with me. We've got 225 linear feet of 30-inch PVC raw water main. We've got about 1,500 linear feet of 16-inch PVC force main. And we've got 246 linear feet of 12-inch PVC force main. There is about 1,400 linear feet of 20-inch ductile iron pipe, water main, and this keeps going. So we got 309 linear feet of the 12-inch PVC water main, about 1,700 linear feet of 36-inch reclaimed water main, and then also associated hydrants, valves, and fittings, and 2 to 4-inch and 4 to 6-inch electric conduits. So these utilities for this area will support and are associated with JEA's Greenland facility and future development to be served by the facility. So we'll partner with the developers. They have to go with our standard sizes. If we want to increase those, then we partner with them to pay for the difference from the increased size from the standard to where we expect our growth to be. They are required to bid this out, advertise it just per our P code, and go the low bid. And when we look at this one, they got 2 bidders, with John Woody Inc. being the lowest bidder for the construction of this work. And they will be doing the work on behalf of the development company that we pay E-Town Development, which is who we have the master agreement with. And it looks like this is about 3.5% lower than what we had estimated. So we deem this a success and would like to move forward. Do you guys have any questions?
I do have a question, just out of curiosity, really. When we reimburse a third party for doing work such as this, and we rely upon them to JEA procurement directives, what do we have something we put in place to, as far as QA, make sure that things are done in accordance with JEA directives? Do we have someone at the table?
So they have to show us all the backup to show that they bid it out. There's just only a few requirements. It has to be competitive and it has to be advertised per the statutes. So they have to follow the Florida statutes like we follow and then go low bid and only low bid. So similar to how we would do it if we did a construction, we would put our scope of work in there. So we manage the scope of work for JEA and we put it into their solicitation. So kind of manage it. It's just, they take us through that process. You'll see when you see these developer agreements, you have a whole different set of vendors that will bid on those projects than what we will bid. You typically won't see a lot of overlap there. They specifically work in those new development areas and putting new, they work with the developers and there's just a whole group that typically won't bid on our stuff for when we have to upgrade or replace. So this is brand new stuff, different skill set. They could do stuff, but we've never seen them bid on our stuff before. We've talked about that in the past, how interesting that is, but.
So by the time it comes to the awards committee, we have confirmation that
Correct.
JEA procurements were done.
Correct.
Were followed.
State statutes and followed, which is what we follow in our.
All right, thanks.
Any other questions? That was a great question. Thank you. All right, I'll ask for a motion to approve award number 8.
Stephen Dax, motion to approve.
Steve Tooten, second.
Thank you. All right, we will roll call through the committee to approve award number 8, starting with Stephen Dax,
Approved.
Steve Tooten,
Approved.
Wayne Young,
Approved.
Alan McElroy,
Approved.
and Joe Arpato.
Approved.
All right, so award number 9 was deferred, so that takes us through our entire agenda. So we've reviewed items 1 and 3 through 8. They've all been approved individually by the awards committee members. And the entire agenda is approved for November 5th, 2020. Is there any other business from the committee members or anyone that needs to come before the awards committee? All right, I'm going to take a minute to brag on Alan and our team. I hope the rest of the SLT has worked as hard as we have for the United Way basket. Right? So we have got a spa basket in case anyone online is interested in buying tickets. You will be amazed at what we have. It's a value over $600 worth of items in this basket. So once it hits the website, I'm going to give you guys that little teaser, but you can see the remainder on the website with the rest of the baskets. But we are all working towards, the same goal to raise money for United Way. But I have a feeling that Alan's going to knock it out of the park. Saying. So, little friendly competition there.
I can't hardly wait to see that basket, but finance will be stepping up as well.
I bet you will, Joe.
I demand equal time as well. Environmental Services will be putting together what we're calling a Jacksonville barbecue extravaganza. We will be featuring gift cards from multiple barbecue establishments here in Jacksonville, including sauces, by the way.
Nice. Joe, what are you doing?
We've got a golf package. So stay tuned. For golfers, you will be delighted.
Oh, golfers delight. Anybody else want to take a minute?
Basket for the zoo.
Nice.
Take friends and family out to the zoo with the picnic basket.
Very cute. I was gonna say, I can't wait to see what you guys put inside that basket.
And compliance has already procured a $150 value chocolate basket from from Sweet Peas, and a $100 gift card from Peterbrook. So we're spreading the business around. So if you like chocolate, it's probably a counterpoint to your spa basket.
I have chocolate in my spa basket.
I
Don't
think
worry.
chocolate goes with everything.
Chocolate is in the spa basket.
Chocolate goes with barbecue.
They can all complement each other. So everybody get out there, and as soon as they go on the website, I'm sure you guys will see that notice. For anyone that is not a JEA employee, Lasikia, Julie, you guys are going to love this spa basket. So get your money ready. I'm counting on you guys to support us. All right. That's it. We are adjourned. Everybody have a great Thursday and a safe weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Great
you.
meeting.
Have a great weekend.
Thanks. You too.
Thank you.
Good job, IT.